Welcome to the Pink Dress Effect podcast with Shannon
and Kim.
Today we're going to be talking about when your significant others, we're going to refer to it as a man in this case, right? Becomes your life. And
Yes.
why do women allow that to happen? I mean, I don't know. Have you allowed that to happen in your life before, Kim?
I definitely have when I was younger.
Yeah.
When I was younger. I think, when you're young, you meet someone and it's all about them.
Do you think it's because you're so caught up in the feelings that person's giving you and it's not, or that you're feeling,
Yes.
and you don't even know them?
No.
You don't even know if they're a good person, but it feels so good because they think I'm so beautiful or whatever. And you just, yeah.
Well, we've talked a lot about like the different attachment styles. We have to have a doctor come on.
We do.
And really
yeah.
a psychologist and really talk about the attachment styles. So I think
Yeah.
if you come from an anxious place, and I've talked in the past about, my anxiety, and you're looking for something from this other person.
Like pick me.
Pick me, I would be incredibly clingy. I was like nonstop wanted him to be around me all the time.
Wow.
All the time.
Okay.
Like all the time.
God, yeah.
Some of the worst arguments we had was about him wanting to go do something that he wanted to go do.
Is it because you, like, maybe he was going out with his friends or something, you didn't trust him? Do you think it had something to that? It was like, as long as he was in front of me,
I think it just had to do with wanting for him to be with me.
For him to be with you.
Yeah. So, but I know that came from a place of anxiety.
Right.
That's not, it wasn't healthy.
What I remember one time, wasn't like that with my ex-husband.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
So we talked about anxious attachment style, but is it really just insecurity? When you're insecure and you get into a relationship, then it's very easy to kind of forget yourself in that process.
And I remember when we first started dating, we both were avid gym goers, and both of us stopped kind of working out. And I remember one day I was like, we got to get back to the gym. Like, we didn't even work out together, but I think we both were getting we were like to be spending time together.
Well,
I guess.
and some of that is normal.
Right,
Look,
but we
some of
woke
it's
up real
normal.
quick because you can see how those positive things that you do for yourself quickly go out the door. But I've seen girls now that I'm older, how you're just like, oh my gosh, like, don't you have any dreams for yourself? What about this? I mean, it's great. This guy's great, but like, what about you? He wants you to be whole. Like, I don't know. Men would really want you to be all over their space. I think we just did a podcast and we talked to my son and another young gentleman, and they were saying how they want space. It's important.
I don't think that, look, now we can, in hindsight, we can talk about it, but I really don't think when you are younger and even older, because I think this is probably something we've learned in recent years.
Yeah.
The level of independence that men oftentimes want in relationships, and the balance between them wanting that independence.
Why do you think they want that?
I think they don't want to lose themselves in the relationship. And I think that's a good thing.
No, it's a really good thing.
And I think it's the whole balance of, the masculine and the feminine. And that masculine is the part that like craves the independence. I know even for myself now, as I've gotten more confident, and we all have masculine and feminine in us.
Right.
So as I've kind of embraced and learned and grown, then that kind of masculine part that's inside of me that craves that independence has become stronger. I really kind of enjoy that and relish my independence, and I don't want to lose that. And it's a part of that yourself that will allow you to get into relationship with someone, but bring your whole self. I want to keep the part that's mine.
And you should still be able to hang out with your friends.
Yes.
And I don't know, you like to go for walks to the park by yourself.
By myself.
If that's something you want to do, or like me with my working out, and it's like, I definitely don't want to be with someone who's going to be like, ew, you can't do that. But then I'm also thinking, now that we're older, like I think about like a partner, wouldn't they want me to keep, I would hope that my partner would want me to keep working out, hanging out with my friends, I don't know,
I don't
taking
think
an
it's
art
about
class.
I don't think it's about your partner.
No.
I think it's about you.
But it's about you. But
Yeah.
I'm saying I don't think that they would want you to lose those parts because that's probably some of the
Right.
reasons why they were
Well,
attracted to you
in
in the first place. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for you to be all of those things and then all of those things go away, you're no longer that person. I mean, we
No.
all change, but you're like, forget about all this stuff. Let me hang out with you and your
Yeah.
friends and get involved in your activities,
Yeah.
which you should embrace in their activities too. But
Yes.
I mean, but you still have to. It's like they have their life, you have their life, and you have a life together.
Yes. Because think
Right?
about it. Who wants the responsibility of carrying someone else's life? Like if
It's hard
I'm-
enough to do.
Yeah,
your own.
it's hard enough to figure out your own life without someone else clinging to you in such a way that you feel responsible for how they feel and for what they do. And no, you figure out your own life and you bring yourself to the table.
Right.
Yeah, but I
right.
think that's hard. I think it's
it is hard. It's hard when
Yeah.
you're young. Well, I mean, I know people probably in our age group.
we
that are
keep
probably-
saying younger, but
but I mean, I
Yeah.
notice it very much. So my son's in that
yeah,
young age group there. When you see and you hear different stories about the different. Well, and I'm sure guys are this way too. You see a lot of them
Yeah.
having girls.
and I think that's because society.
Mm-hmm.
So
What do you mean? Like maybe they're
You
saying
know-
that girls should give up what kind of that old.
think about it from the time that little girls. I'll say middle school, but it might be even younger. You see a little girl and you say, "Oh, do you have a boyfriend yet?"
Oh yeah.
When does that start? I'm thinking middle school, but maybe even younger. Why do we do that? I think a lot of the identity that girls begin to form for themselves is, do I have a boyfriend? Am I in a relationship?
Mm-hmm.
We should not be asking little girls, do you have a boyfriend?
But I think things have definitely changed because when I was in high school, like I didn't go to my senior prom, okay? And I remember being really sad. All my friends got to dress up and get really pretty, and I didn't have that. And it was sad. It was
Yeah.
sad. But I see a lot of girls now. They're like, forget the guy. They're going as a big old group together.
I love that.
And they might even
Yeah.
invite some of their guy friends. And there's nothing romantic. It's just a group of people having fun. And I think that's great that these girls are confident enough to do that. Where we didn't do that when I was growing up. Did
No.
y'all do that at your school?
Like
Like if you didn't have a date, you just didn't
you
go.
just didn't go.
And that's
Yeah,
sad.
I remember going to prom with a guy that I didn't really like all that much. I just
So he could be
wanted to
watching.
date. I don't know. It's been a long time ago.
Long time ago.
But I went to prom with a guy, and I really, I didn't like him that much, but I knew he liked me, and I knew I needed a date for prom.
Well, you needed a date, and I just
Yeah.
I didn't have any, and it was sort of sad. I mean, I got together with everybody at the after party, and they're like, "Oh, it wasn't a big deal," but it is a big deal when you want to dress up and look
Yes.
beautiful like all your
Yeah.
friends, and you don't have that.
You don't wanna feel
opportunity.
left out.
right? But that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. A lot of these girls now,
They don't
they're
feel
going.
that.
You see the big groups. My daughter went to prom, and
Yeah.
she's not with a date; she's with a bunch of girls. So you wonder if there's some shift, maybe as we're becoming. I don't know. Maybe the parents are becoming more in tune to their own challenges, and their children are not dealing with it or overcoming it earlier. Maybe?
Well, I'll tell you the episode that we did with your son
Yeah.
and Isaiah. Y'all will see that episode if you've already seen it by now. So
Yeah.
So, but that episode gave me so much hope for the
Yeah.
young people. So I think sometimes we believe just because of social media and that, maybe think one thing about young women, but maybe they're evolving way faster than we think they are.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure. And I agree.
I hope so.
I hope so too. And I think that, gosh, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's still trying to stay within yourself. I mean, who doesn't want to feel beautiful?
Yeah.
I don't care how old you are, but there's so much, I hate to say fakeness. I don't want to say that I'll never, ever do anything, right? I mean, I think it's fine to get things done, whatever. But you're seeing these girls younger and younger with the Botox and the lashes and the nails and the fake, like way quicker than when we were kids, I feel like.
Well, I think, I think part of it, what started it was the whole Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
And this kind of perception of what a beautiful woman is and the popularity, their
she's
their
beautiful.
popularity at the time. And she is beautiful, but that became a standard. And so,
But that standard doesn't even look like the real Kim Kardashian, what she used to look like. Because if you see a picture before and after, she was beautiful then before, and she's
Yeah.
beautiful now. I'm just saying it's not even the same person.
but it became a look.
It became a look, exactly.
And so then young women started going and appealing. They wanted to look like that.
they wanted to look like that. But
So-
think about it. Back in the day, they had Twiggy and all those other.
Yeah.
They were
well,
probably
the
doing
difference
it-
is the social media.
Social media,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's the difference. 'Cause,
And maybe
yeah,
it's more accessible.
Yeah.
It's not as expensive. I mean, it's still expensive, but maybe back then you didn't. I mean, only till the 90s, people started getting their nails done and all that stuff because you know what I'm saying?
But I saw something recently and it showed all these different, it showed like women from the 90s, earlier celebrities, and it showed all these different celebrities that look different.
Like different today.
Different from each other.
Okay.
That were still considered beautiful women, but they looked different from each other. Now, if you look and you start looking at the beauty norms, you see more people looking the same with the same type of features, whereas people used to embrace their features. Now it's everybody has full lips because if you don't got them, you're going to go get them.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
don't have cheekbones, well, you're going to go get you some cheekbones.
Then you don't even
know?
look like yourself.
Right. And you start looking like a beauty standard.
Yeah,
and
that's
start,
true.
your nose doesn't look the way you want it to, you get a nose job. So, it's really, I think, the more we do teach young women, including our daughters, that, you just really embracing your own unique look. Which, ties in, all of it ties in together with the self-esteem.
Yeah.
And because you can easily lose yourself in the same way in relationships with looking a certain way. I mean, I've never done that, but I have known people who've done it who change the way they look based off of who
like
they're in
for
a
their
relationship
partner.
with.
Really? Like he's like, oh, I don't know, blonde hair.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to go dye my hair blonde.
Yes.
Or
I
he
don't even like
likes-
blonde hair. Yeah.
Right. And I mean, yeah, exactly. Maybe I don't want to do that, but they'll do it because they want to keep him.
Yes.
But if he loved you, he might express what he likes, which is fine. But if you don't want to do it, you shouldn't be fearful that he's going to leave you.
Yeah. But there are plenty of people who care about that. Now, I think your partner, you want to be attractive to your partner.
Of course.
So you should care what they think about your physical appearance.
And maybe
I
your
think-
outfits and stuff.
Yeah,
What do you want
you
me
know,
to look like?
yes,
Or
yeah.
do you like this? Do you not like this? Do I look too front? I mean, I would want to know. I
Yeah.
mean,
But I'm not going to change my whole identity
no.
to fit a perception of who you feel like I need to be.
Because you hear stories of like the husband might be super successful and he wants his wife to stay at home. She might not want to stay at home.
Yeah.
She might be like, oh my gosh, that'll drive me crazy. I want to have a career. And that'll be a sticking point in
It
their
certainly will.
relationship.
And especially if she gets into the marriage not owning that she wants a career.
Yeah. I mean, I know someone who didn't have a baby, like those are big things. After a certain time, you can't go back on those decisions.
Yeah. But sometimes people go into it thinking that they can change the other
Change their-
person.
yeah.
So you may go into it thinking, oh yeah, well, he doesn't want children. I do. But, I'll change that. He'll love me so much. He'll just want my babies,
yeah.
And, that's just a big mistake to
That's a
make.
huge mistake. I mean, and
It
look,
is.
every relationship has compromises, right? I mean, you have to
There are some deal breakers. There's some big ones that you really can't, they don't have a workaround.
No,
Yeah.
but it's like you are gonna, try to I want to be the best version of myself for
Yeah.
my partner. If I knew that he didn't like something or did love something, I might go
Yeah.
out of my way to do something because I want to make them
Yeah.
happy. I think that's normal, but when you're taking it to that extreme where you're changing who you are as a person, that's
Yeah.
where the problems start.
That's where the problems start. Yeah, because I, had a partner and they loved long hair. Well, they're out of luck because I've never had long hair, and I had longer hair, but my hair is thin. I don't have long hair. You're out of luck if you want long hair, unless I could get weave.
I was gonna say, did you ever think about getting extensions?
No, I did not ever think about that. One is too expensive.
High maintenance.
It's high maintenance. I don't have time
I
for
was
that.
gonna say I can't see you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not.
I'm sure it'll
now
look
look, I
beautiful.
am high maintenance in some ways.
But you do go get your hair done and
Yeah, I
stuff.
do,
But
I
you
do.
always look beautiful. But
No,
that
Yeah.
And your style actually suits you
Yeah.
just perfectly.
I'm
right?
not going to spending a whole bunch of money on that. But I could have. That is
Yeah.
a choice I could have made. I know.
So you didn't even try it one time. Okay.
No.
So and back, if we could go back to when you first started talking about, when your partner you
Yeah.
had like
Uh-huh.
when you were young.
Yes.
What helped you overcome just him wanting you wanting him to be there with you all the time?
I'm trying to think of when I did overcome
Was
that.
it just like as time went on, you just got confident?
No, I don't think that was it. I think as time went on, life changed, and then I started having children, and then you're busy with your children. But I don't think that kind of desire for that changed. I
Well,
don't.
as far as him being around, you still wanted him around.
Yeah, and I think that's what I preferred.
Wow.
I
okay.
think I just got busy with other things.
Yeah.
I don't think the desire for that changed until I started really getting to know myself better.
Yeah.
That need, to have that safety
It was like your
in
safe
another person. Yeah. It wasn't until I learned to find safety in myself that
That's so powerful.
I fixed that. Yeah.
Wow, that's so crazy. And
Yeah.
and that was like for everything. Like if you wanted to go to the mall, if you wanted to go to the movie.
Yeah, I didn't want to make returns at the store. I get him to make
Wow.
returns at the store. I
Wow.
really based a lot of still instead of working on myself.
Yeah.
I did work on myself in some
It makes
ways.
it easy though when you
It
have
makes
some
it
of that.
easy when
Do you think he liked it or do you think he resented you for that?
Probably a little bit of both,
bit
to
of
be
both.
honest.
Where it's like, God, I just want to hang out with my guys,
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, I think the ability to I just don't think anybody wants to carry the load of somebody else's emotional baggage. And I think when you come to the table with your own fears, it's not okay to put that off on someone else to solve and hold for you.
Right. Yeah.
You have to hold that yourself and figure that out yourself. But when you're young, you're looking, that whole, what is it? The Jerry Maguire. Is it Jerry Maguire?
You had me at hello.
Yeah, and complete me and all that sort of. Well, yeah, no.
Yeah.
That other person can't give you all of that. And I think when you are seeking that, you really set yourself and them up for failure.
Yeah.
Another person can't be everything to you, and you cannot mold yourself
No.
to fit into someone else's narrative
Right.
of who you should be. And that isn't to say like it's not I think an intentional thing on anybody's
No.
part.
And I think, look,
Yeah.
I want to say that, it's not even just being hyper independent because we're Christians. God, we were put on this earth to have partners.
Yes.
We were
And
put on
learn
this
from one-
and
one
to
learn
have
from one
friends and all that
another.
stuff. So yes, your friends feel
Yeah.
you feel a need in my life, but to just totally depend on you to feel everything for me would be so it would be so unhealthy.
Yeah.
And so I think that's
Yeah.
what you're trying to say, right? It's
Yeah.
like
it's the balance
it's
of
the
it.
balance.
You have, opposites attract, and your partner will have opposite skills and abilities. And yes, they should balance one another. But when you are allowing that balance to tip and you are basing your identity off of someone else, you can't do that. It's just not fair. It's not fair to them and it's not fair to yourself.
It's almost like too, right? So we're talking about you bending, but then the flip side is like when you're not asserting yourself, when you're not, right? So it's kind of similar behavior, but over here I'm trying to morph myself into what he wants or she wants. But then if you're not even doing that and you're not living your truth and speaking your truth in that relationship.
How long can you do that? Like,
I don't think you can do it. I mean, I'm sure
long?
people do it for a while, but it's like, if I'm in a relationship, I mean, I want them, tell me when you're angry at me. Tell me
Yeah.
when I hurt your feelings. Tell me if you're sad. Tell me if
Yeah.
you just need me to leave you alone.
Tell me you don't like ribs. Tell me you don't like
Right.
broccoli.
Tell me you had a
know?
really crappy day. Like, because I think you have, like, if you do
Yeah.
have that partner or a friend,
Yeah.
you want them, the people in your life should be safe for you.
So, and think about it. How many times, I again, food, I do enjoy food, so I'm going to eat what I want to eat. But I have also known people that would not speak up and say that they didn't like a certain food or allow for you to make all the decisions about the food. That's not okay.
It's not fair because it's like,
Yeah.
what we've talked about this. We don't read minds, right?
We
You
don't
cannot
read
read someone's mind.
minds.
I remember one time I worked in a nonprofit, and this is really before I kind of found my voice. As talkative as I am, speaking up, I needed to go. Like I kept looking at the clock. I was in this round table, and I could feel myself sweating. And I was, I had to go get my son, but I was too afraid to speak up. I was
Yeah.
in a work meeting, and I was only part time. And I remember. And then my boss and I talked about it later. She said, "Why didn't you just get up and leave?"
Yeah.
But I just was so afraid.
Afraid.
I was so
Yeah.
afraid to do that.
Oh,
Meanwhile, it's okay
yeah.
to be late to pick up my kid.
Yeah.
Not, he
Yes.
was little.
Yeah. Sorry, Sky. I don't know how many times I picked her
I
up
know,
late.
poor Trey. I know, but I did that all the
but
time.
the same reasons of just not wanting to say, I have to go.
And lived my truth. And I was only part-time. It's not like
Yeah.
I was on the clock 40 hours a week or anything.
Yeah.
It was a meeting that was running late. Now I would get up and go.
Yes.
But that was only like, I don't know, 15 years ago. It's not even that long ago. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. The insecurities we have drive so much of who we are. That's why it's so important, I think. Look, like we said, you have to be in relationship with people and you're going to learn in relationship with other people.
Yeah.
But you owe it to yourself to do the best that you can to work through your stuff continuously.
As hard as it is.
As
Lord.
hard as it is.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's very hard. But when you show up and you get into relationships, that's why I think it's important to wait. I think it's important to wait a little.
Till
Don't get involved all young when you're like in high school. I think you don't
or
know
maybe date,
yourself.
but like date where I hate to say it's going to end
Yeah.
at some point, and then there might be another person.
Yeah, not dating
Because-
to marry.
Because I got married super young. I didn't even know myself. What the heck?
You cannot know
I look
yourself.
back and I'm like,
Yeah.
what was I thinking?
And that isn't to say some people get married in high school
Oh, yeah.
and they stay, look.
Oh, I know people have been married. They got married the same time I did, and they're still married. So
And they stay married forever. And that can be successful.
And I think too, a lot of times when you're younger, and I'm not saying all young people, but a lot of times, look back, oh, she's so pretty. Oh, and he's so hot. Oh my goodness. And are you asking the tough questions? Are you saying,
Yeah.
can you share your deepest fears with me? Can you,
Yeah.
I don't know, if you lost all your money, what would you do? What are you afraid of? Like, are you talking about, what kind of things happen in your childhood? What can I do to support you on your dreams? What are your dreams? Like all
Yeah.
those really big things. I think when you're younger, I don't know, for me, I think it was all driven on the emotion. It wasn't driven on,
I'm just so in love.
not that he was a
Yeah.
bad person, because he's
Yeah.
not. My God, he's the
Yeah.
father of my son,
Yeah.
but totally incompatible.
Yeah.
Right. And then it sets you up for unhappiness. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
I don't think, I think now with social media that hopefully young people are making those questions.
yeah,
But back then, it was the next step.
it was the next step. I know friends who had like this timeline. I graduated from college. I'm going to get married. I got to have a baby by this
Yeah.
age. Like, right. It was just,
It was what you did. Yeah.
it's crazy. And I mean, for me as a mother, I would rather my son wait till he's later into his 20s, 30,
Yeah.
and just get a little bit of life and really,
Yeah.
Start his job and career, save his money, kind of be in that place. Obviously I'm going to
Yeah.
support whatever he does, but because you just want them to know themselves and not get
Yes.
lost in a relationship because you're afraid to speak up
Yeah.
and the thing is, in a healthy relationship, you should be able to speak
You
up.
should be able to speak up. And the reality is, it really is, it's not just for the woman in the relationship, it's for the guy too.
Yeah.
So we're talking because we are women, so
yeah.
we talk from that perspective. But
But men can get
guys
lost
find
too.
themselves in the same situation.
I know someone who didn't take a scholarship because of a girl, like things like that. Like, because at the end of
Yeah.
the day, right? If they're supposed to be in your life, they'll be in your life eventually, if
Yeah.
not now, someday, right? That's how you have to look at it, I guess.
No, I remember seeing, and I don't even know what it was. It was one of those old, like black and white films. And there was a woman, and she had gotten married, and she was just, really beautiful and gotten married and was so in love. And then they fast forward. So I remember seeing a film, and I cannot remember the name of it, but it was a story. It was an old black and white movie. And it was about a woman, and she had gotten married, and like her family didn't want her to marry this guy. And she got married. She was so in love, and she's a beautiful woman. And then they fast forward, and they show her, and she's kind of a broken shell of a woman.
Aw.
And so that's what I think can happen when you go into any relationship with not knowing who you are. You can go into that relationship seeking things from that partner. So much so that you lose all sight of
Ugh.
who you are.
That gives me the chills. How sad.
Yeah, and it is very.
And how old about did she wake up? Essentially,
Well,
when she was a shell
in
of
this movie, she didn't wake up. It was just one of those like observations for you to see that over time, this is where she landed. But it always stuck with me. So I think it's important for women to know when you go into a relationship, you want to hold on to those core aspects of yourself and not lose them at any step in the way. And if you are with a partner that loves you, they're not going to want you to lose any of that.
Because that's, again, like I said earlier, that's part of the reason why they were attracted to you in the first place. And you stop doing all those things, then that's kind of not fair to them, too, because they feel, not that you can't change a little bit. Of course, everybody does. But if you just stop doing all that, because then, depression can, and you don't even know some of this is happening to you. I think I know I lived that in so many ways. And you wake up one day, and I remember feeling like everybody else's life, they're building houses, having babies, doing all this stuff, and I'm over here just stuck. I remember feeling that way, like my life wasn't moving in any direction. It wasn't a really good place to be. I just had allowed myself to get, every time I was shut down or ignored, instead of standing up for myself and making a decision for myself, I just took it.
Yep. And you said the important part, and what I think we really should take, everyone should take away, is that you allowed yourself.
Yep.
This is not about blaming the other person. This is about realizing it's your responsibility to hold on to who you are in relationships and not allow yourself to just become a different person to meet the needs of someone else or to let your life become their life.
Right, and almost assess, right, if you're in a relationship, even a friendship or whatever, and it's always give and take, right?
It's
if you're
always
not
give and
getting you're not going to get everything you need, like you talked about, but if there's fundamental basic things that you've shared, and they can't or won't or whatever, then you do have to make some decisions for yourself.
Yes,
even
you do.
friendships, is that friend even reciprocating?
Yeah.
And if
am I holding back?
Yeah.
Am I holding back and not saying what I want to say to be in relationship with someone?
Because that's silly to do that. It really is.
It really is. It's not going to work for you in the long run.
No, you're going to end up unhappy. And then really, because your unhappiness then feeds into that person you're with that you think you're making happy, but you're not a shell of a person, right? And so that eventually is going to affect him or her because you're not this vivacious person they fell in love with.
Yeah, and I can tell you, it's a whole lot harder to find yourself after you've lost yourself than it is to make sure you maintain that from the very beginning.
Yeah, and so those young folks out there that listening to us, really focus on yourself.
Lesson learned.
But you know what? The funny thing is that even though you do the work and all those things, every once in a while I find myself going back a little bit, and then you catch yourself. You're like, oh my goodness, I said I would never get like that again. And then you move forward again.
Me too.
But I think that's life probably, right? We get into patterns or whatever.
Because it's in you.
It's in you.
You know?
And like we talked about, at some point we're going to have to do something on like the different attachment styles. Everybody's talking about it, and it's all over social media, and people are diagnosing themselves and diagnosing others.
I know I've diagnosed myself.
I know I have too. But it's been good, and I know we won't get into it too much, but it's been good because then you can see the areas of yourself that you can work on.
Yeah.
Some people don't want to work on, or maybe are afraid, right? You have to be gentle with people.
Or just not ready.
Yeah, or maybe not even aware. You read things about people, and they're like, I had no idea that it was even a thing. you start reading the comments, some of these people
Yeah.
write, and they're like,
That's
oh my
the wonderful
gosh.
thing about social media.
Right. And they're
Yeah.
just like, oh my gosh, this is why every single one of my relationships have failed.
Yeah.
Or this is why, thank you so much,
Yeah.
And so it's almost probably been helpful in
Yeah.
some ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, so hopefully that's been helpful. I'm so glad. And I don't think that'll happen to us. I don't think that would happen again.
No,
I mean, I would never. I mean,
know myself too well now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I've had moments where you fall back into some old patterns,
Yeah.
but yeah,
You catch yourself.
I'm never going to be that girl again, never.
Yeah.
Because you look back and you're just like all those years, but it's okay because I am who I am because of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't regret
I
anything.
don't regret anything.
And I'm sure you don't either.
I do not.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us today. The next, I'm going to look at my notes. Am I going to say this right, Kim? Let me, our net love. I'm gonna have to do that
Our
one
next
again.
episode,
Yeah.
the power of visibility,
Power of visibility. Yeah.
and really just talking about your own personal brand.
Yeah.
We talk about businesses
Yeah.
having a brand, but you have a brand.
Yeah, and like you talked about, right? Back in the day, all the beautiful models, they look different. And now people are starting to have the same faces and all that. And it's kind of creepy, right?
Yeah.
A little bit, But they look beautiful, don't get me wrong.
Well, sometimes.
Sometimes. Yeah.
Some of that plastic surgery can go left.
Go a little much. But yeah, but having your own brand
Yeah.
could be a powerful thing for so many different things.
I think it is a powerful thing.
Well, thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode of Pink Dress Effect.
See you next time.